Welcome on in and gather around, gang. It's time for some more Age of Wonders 4 news. We've got another patch here, Gargoyle 1.1, smaller update that is going to be fixing up a couple of things that were brought in with the Gargoyle update and the Thrones of Blood DLC in general. So let's dive right in and see what they've got. Delicious blood bags, you've awoken us from our slumber, and now we must feed. This new world of yours, however, is imperfect. As such, we've taken the liberty to do some reimagining. The Gargoyle 1.1 update brings some adjustments to the power of our kin and a feast of fixes. These fixes address several issues that were reported during the Gargoyle beta after we submitted for RNT1P. Mystic Summoning Echo and Fusion are going to use the correct conversion ratio once again, Architect Monuments of Tier 3 and 4 will provide resistances once more, and the new infusions now correctly show up for rings. We also have a variety of crash fixes for issues that we receive through automated reports, so you may continue your games. All good stuff. Let's dive in and see what the actual details are. Make your Pantheons thrive. For general, we have Culture High, removed the plus 10 positive alignment, really. The High Culture is no longer the good guys. The enchantment Flame Burst weapons and Supreme Magic no longer destroy corpses of killed units. Interesting. That is obviously to work with the vampires, but they're kind of undead, but that is unfortunate. If you explode, it would make sense that there's not much of a corpse left over, but that's dark. Let's move on. World Map Spell Fight for Power added Scalds and Inferno Hounds as units that can be summoned. That's interesting. So lower tier Infernal units, but kind of the medium tier guys. Fair enough. For our heroes, we have the Elder Vampire changes. Signature skill Hemomancer replaced unlocked affinity skill Purging Strikes with Searing Strikes. So instead of removing buffs, they're going to be burning you. Nice. Signature skill Vampiric Rage is clarified that the effect now gives a bonus, or I guess a max 50% damage increase at 1 health. So it's escalating, but only when you get close to 1. That's nasty. Exsanguinate now counts as a base ability, and Festering Spine does too. That is bad news for everyone. Base abilities get buffed up by all your different skills and things like that, and tend to get quite crazy quite quick. For multiplayer, we have fixed an out-of-sync that could occur on turn 1 due to a base game ruler with a DLC class hero. Interesting, glad it's fixed. Moving right on along to our Pantheon, they have blocked the following realm quest when playing a presence ruler as a human: Pretender Kings and Ashen War. They've also updated the Primal Dispute to reveal with the trait when triggered, regardless of playing as one of the rulers or not. Fantastic. They've also got a host of fixes here. Let's get reading. Buckle up, there's a lot of them, and it's always impressive that Triumph manages to pack this much into each of their hotfixes here. Crash fixes and hangs. They fixed a crash that could occur when generating a Lost Souls quest, one that could occur due to AI incorrectly processing stacks with no behavior. They fixed a crash on existing item blueprints having increased cost exceeding maximum cost. Invalid blueprints are now automatically cleared from the blueprints list. That's likely due to you having ones that are creatable by the Giant Kings when you're not one. But who knows? Fixed a number of crashes related to Windows being force closed with a client being active. Fixed crashes that can occur when selecting a ruler type with a controller too quickly, really. A crash involving sunless terrain that could occur during map generation. Could occur when continuing an active game with tutorials enabled and building an outpost. Those fixes, or crashes rather, are fixed, which that's the worst of them. They gotta get that done in a hurry. For their art, they fixed an issue where the cultivator's ability animation skips some frames when performing them when mounted. There's an issue where zombies and decaying zombies would get a bow when having a Naga or Gloomstrider transformations. They're just running up and beating you with the bow. An issue where decaying zombies with angelic transformation would have face issues. An issue where units with Gloomstrider transformation are not fully visible in story events, so there's parts of them missing. An issue where vampire rulers with vampiric flight and charge strike weapon would not exit the animation normally, so something weird going on there. An issue where casting animation of class and magic abilities with floating daggers was wrong. An issue where the placement was wrong of the cape during the embrace animation of a vampire hero, so the cape was flying somewhere way away from him. An issue where the whip from the sword and whip weapon type stretches and wraps around the wielder when performing the siphon blood animation. No, that wasn't on purpose. An issue where the monk didn't have a beard when using dwarf form. Well, that's just not allowed. Except an issue where 2 of the dark Cult of Tyranny outfits showed the same visuals. We actually saw that in our goat vamp, not our goat one, for Neferata. And actually, it's not just Cult of Tyranny, it's for Cult of Death as well. 2 of the outfits look exactly the same, and hopefully that fixes it up. They fixed an issue where the Cultivator and Shade Makers were missing underwear in certain death, but well, that's definitely something you need to fix up. Slaanesh can't be summoned in here this early. He needs to stay in Warhammer. He, she, whatever Slaanesh is. Where the Feudal Greatsword no longer had a texture. It was a smooth Greatsword. where the Trainer Ogre Greatsword no longer had a texture, smooth greatswords all over the place. An issue where armor colors would not propagate correctly in-game. The Vampire Ear Slider would not adjust ear size, it would just adjust their nose size. An issue where their eyes would not adjust with head size. Oh, that's hilarious. The little pinprick eyes and a great big head. An issue where the head position was incorrect in the default pose for vampires with orb weapons, and an issue where the Vampiric Reaver heroes did not have legs. And these vampires were struggling. As for culture fixes, we fixed an issue where the Echo Infusion conversion was 20% of the required experience instead of 200%. An issue where the Architect Tier 3 and 4 monuments would not provide affinity resistances, which was the whole reason for getting them up that level. Well, aside from the damage as well, but good fix for sure. Vince fixed an issue where the Warhound unit was incorrectly showing up with the Angelic Envoy pickup. You could get a Warhound. It's an angelic pupper. Of course, all dogs go to heaven. That's how it works. Fixed an issue where Cloak of the Vampire Lost Soul quest did not add the hero to the recruitment pool. Good to have fixes that are getting the game working as intended. Fixed an issue where the new army surrender event for the exotic animals was not allowed to appear outside of debug mode. For Fated Regions, we have fixed an issue where there was a duplicate army spawn marker in the Mount Godkeep Fated region. Interesting. Fixed an issue where the Enable Disable Combats for combat spells did not have controller prompts, so you controller players are out of luck. You don't get to enable disable anything. Fixed an issue where the Devour screen did not have controller prompts, so yeah, no console players having a bad time. Fixed an issue where Vampire and Giant King rulers would be hustled in the culture filters in advanced setup. What does that mean? So maybe they were grouped together and they shouldn't have been? Not sure there. Fixed an issue where the player's ruler was mentioned in a diplomatic notification that they were not involved in. Next up, we've got text issues. Cleaned up the description of the static shield spell from the Tome of Warding. Fixed the casting instructions on Rite of Life Leeching from target enemy unit to target friendly unit. For item forge, they've fixed an issue where the new ring infusions were added to the misc items. Good. As for story realms, these fixes are always very needed. Cliffs of Sortilin fixed an issue where Merlin would be resurrected in the wrong way, resulting in a possible crash. What is he? Is he resurrected as a dragon? Fixed an issue where the Indalian aspect quest would not update from 0-1 to 1-1 when the quest was resolved, so you just don't get to complete it. And then fixed an issue where there was an unintended uninhabitable province. Next up for Blood and Courtship, which we are currently in the middle of. Fixed an issue where the skeletons spawned by the Deathless God would not have a race assigned. No one knows what they are. Fixed an issue where the Enemy of My Enemy quest could not be accepted if the player met and declared war to one of the quest targets before the quest triggered. Just locked out of it if you get into a fight with one of the vampires too early. Fixed an issue where it was still possible to receive the Get Rose quest from either Mavelith or the Thorak after already giving it away. Fixed an issue, so you just give it to both. Fixed issues of hero and city names not appearing as translated in non-English languages, and then fixed an issue where the score victory was not disabled for this realm. I was seeing that on Reddit. Good to see that this is fixed up. For our units, Fleshlings now correctly trigger Decaying Dissolution when they explode. Same for other units that self-explode as well. Fixed an issue where the Pyre Templar had received an additional 5 whole arm hit point bonus. No! They removed it. I figured that was on purpose. So they're down to, it's only a small 5 hit points, but I figured that wasn't that much of a bonus, right? Fixed an issue where the Thorn Skeleton Militia had not received the additional 5 whole arm health bonus, increasing their health from 55 to 60. That's good. Lastly, here we have world map issues. Fixed an issue where the free cities would accidentally take over infestations when expanding their domain. So they just get to delete them with expanding. That's cool. Fixed an issue where not all diggable earth would be removed after excavating, and that's a serious problem. Glad to see all these fixes have made it into this patch here. Some of these, I'm surprised they made it into the Gargoyle update at all, but I'm glad they got them fixed so quickly. That is just a testament to how fast Triumph does work to get their problems resolved when they do have pretty bad ones. Let me know what you all, though, thought in the comments below, and how you've been enjoying the Gargoyle update and the Thrones of Blood DLC as well. I'd love to hear from you, but that is all for me for today. If you enjoyed today's video, please do remember to leave a like for like God and a sub for the sub throne. I'll see you all in the next one.